I remember laying next to my restless son late at night, scrolling, searching, questioning everything. I didn't want another doctor's appointment. I didn't want more tests. I didn't want someone to tell me it's normal or he'll outgrow it. I wanted answers. I wanted clarity. I wanted to feel like I wasn't crazy for intuitively knowing that all of his symptoms were connected and for believing that my child could actually heal. And what I really wanted was to be seen. Today, I'm introducing you to the Rebalancing Collective. This is a private community space for women who are actively rebalancing themselves or their children and who are craving more support, more clarity, and more connection. If you've ever thought, I just need to know if this is normal, or I want to stay consistent, but I'm losing momentum, or I'm getting scared, or I wish I could talk to someone who really understands this phase I'm in. This space, the Rebalancing Collective, is for you. Because the truth is, healing doesn't happen in isolation. And most of the time, the exact question that you have is the same question 20 other women are asking too. Welcome to the Follow Your Gut podcast, the show for the woman who's ready to stop outsourcing her and her family's health and start leading it. I'm your host, Juniper. Every week, I'll teach you how to understand your body and your child's symptoms through the lens of the gut so you can take clear, confident steps towards real healing. This isn't about chasing symptoms or following trendy protocols. This is about foundational healing, where we get to the root of it all, your gut. I am so happy you're here. Let's dive in. For the past 5 years, I have poured everything I have into supporting women and mamas, answering hundreds of thousands of DMs, voice messages, emails, and comments. And it's been wildly beautiful. So many of you feel like true friends, and I'm so deeply honored to have been able to walk beside thousands of families during their most vulnerable of times. But when I started ōNLē, I had a mission to take this healing method to the moon, to make the biggest impact I possibly can, because every family deserves the opportunity to heal. And now, 5 years in, I can see that what we've built together has far surpassed anything I imagined back then about what going to the moon really meant. But here's what I've also learned along the way. One-on-one support, what I've been doing in DMs, while it's very personal and really heartfelt, it isn't always the most impactful or sustainable way to lead a movement of this scale. Not for you and not for me, because the most powerful healing doesn't happen in isolation. You were never meant to carry this alone. The same questions, the same doubts, the same breakthroughs that one woman is navigating are often being felt by so many others at the very same time, which leads us to the birth of the Rebalancing Collective. This is a sacred space I wish I had had, a space where you don't have to explain why you're doing things differently, why you either declined the steroid creams or you stopped using them, where belief isn't something you have to muster alone. It's something we hold together, a sacred container where healing is the expectation, where we don't settle for less or spiral in fear, where symptoms don't define the journey, they reveal the shifts. This isn't a Facebook group. It's not a replacement for the course that comes with the Gut Rebalance Kits. It's a powerful next layer of support, a community that exists only for those who are actively rebalancing. It's not a place that you're going to lose hours of your time endlessly scrolling. It's a place where you get to land, to remember why you started, and to be surrounded by women who are doing it too, whether it's for themselves or for their children. So what does this actually look like? Inside the Rebalancing Collective, you will receive daily support from our trained membership mentors. These are women who have walked this exact path and are here to walk beside you. They know the fear, the questions, the tiny wins that feel so massive. They have so beautifully healed their children with rebalancing. And now, as trained mentors, they are in the space every weekday to support you through your healing journey. You'll also receive weekly video support from me where I answer the questions rising from within the community. These aren't pre-recorded generalized teachings. These are in-the-moment reflections based on what you are experiencing and needing right now in real time. You get access to a private, protected space that, again, is completely separate from social media, a space where you can ask your most vulnerable questions, share your wins, and be seen in the messy middle without the noise, the pressure, or the outside opinions that so often make healing feel even harder than it needs to be. And maybe most importantly, you get to be surrounded by women who are actually in it, not just watching from the sidelines, not just curious, but actually rebalancing, actively healing, and committed to what's possible. I think back when my son was really unwell. It was so hard to go out in public. His skin looked so bad. His rash was so severe that people would stare and random people would come up and say, "Have you tried this?" And family members didn't get it. They didn't understand why I wasn't using steroid creams, why I kept saying no to quick fixes. Meanwhile, neighbors were trying to be kind by telling me that his massive behavioral outbursts were normal, that it's just how boys are. And doctors were telling me to wait it out. Or worse, they'd say, "It's your milk, stop breastfeeding and give him formula." Or "His blood work is normal. Congratulations, he's healthy." But I was watching him struggle. None of those people saw what was actually happening within the walls of our home. His symptoms were getting worse and worse, and his list of symptoms was getting longer and longer every single day. And I felt like I was losing him. None of us were sleeping. And there were so many moments where the stress and the fear of it all pushed my marriage to the absolute edge. I felt so alone. I didn't have anywhere to go to feel seen, to feel validated, to feel like I wasn't the only one fighting for answers everyone else dismissed. I didn't have a space where I could land in my most vulnerable moments and be met with understanding. The Rebalancing Collective fills this void for any woman or mama in that dark and lonely place. A space where a mama with a child who has a horrific looking rash or is navigating behavioral issues or speech delays can show up and hear, "Me too. You're not alone. You're not crazy. And you can do this." A space where a woman who's experiencing deep depression, autoimmune issues, or is struggling with chronic UTIs or an unbearably itchy vagina can come in completely raw and be reminded, you are not broken and healing is happening. This is the next evolution of the impact ōNLē is here to make. I'm guessing that if you're still listening, you know this space is for you. But I want to be really clear about who the Rebalancing Collective is for. This is a very sacred space for the women and mamas who, again, have purchased their gut rebalance kit, who are all in and either ready to heal or are deep in their journey. They believe their body or their child's body is capable of healing. They are not waiting for permission or for the perfect timing. They're already started, and now they're ready to be supported. If you are in, if you've committed and you're looking for clarity, encouragement, and a place to bring your questions without getting lost in the noise of the internet, this is for you. As I shared earlier, for the last 5 years, I've offered this essentially as one-on-one support in my DMs, doing my very best to hold space in a way that I so desperately needed when I was in the thick of it. I have poured my heart into voice notes and messages, but as I step into this next season of helping even more families heal, it doesn't mean spreading myself thinner. It means creating sustainable spaces like the collective, where healing is not only supported, but largely empowered. I'm sharing this part of the why behind the collective here, maybe even just for myself to hold myself accountable. But I will no longer be offering this level of support in DMs. not because I don't care, but because I care so deeply that I've built something even more empowering. Everything you need to know about your rebalance is in the course that comes free with your kit, from how to prepare to what to expect, foods to eat and avoid, and how to tell when your gut is fully in balance. But if you want quicker answers, more personalized support, and a space to process what you are experiencing, the collective is where we will be holding that from now on. So, how do you join? Once you've purchased your kit, you will be invited to join the collective for just $49 for 6 months. This is a one-time small investment that helps us protect the energy of the space, keep it intimate, and ensure that every woman inside is deeply supported and committed. You'll find the invitation link on your order confirmation page, in your post-purchase emails, and inside the Essentials of Gut Health course. I am also going to attach a link in the show notes of this episode for any of you who are deep in your rebalance and you're eager to get in. And one really quick thing before we wrap up, I am so excited to share with you that the ōNLē Method app is now available. This is a companion app to give you quick and easy access to the course and the community. Once you are in, you'll be welcomed by our mentors, invited to introduce yourself, and guided through every phase of your healing journey. You'll never again wonder alone if you're doing it wrong or what you should be doing differently. This is the container I needed when my son was struggling. So I made it for me back then and for you now. I cannot wait for you to experience the space for yourself. If this episode resonated with you, share it with a friend or a family member who's ready to lead her family's healing. Everything mentioned in this episode is linked down below for you in the show notes. Be sure to subscribe to the Nourish newsletter, also linked down below, so you never miss an episode. I will email you the latest episode every Tuesday morning. Everything shared on this show is for educational purposes only, not intended as medical advice. Until next time, trust your body and follow your gut.